Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Haley. I am so excited because today I'm going to be ranking 20 of my favorite lip products. So if you've been with me for a while, I actually did a series during the holidays on shorts called 20 Red Lippies for the holidays, and I swatched them, I wore them every day. And it was so much fun, and you guys really seem to like it. In a time, you've probably heard from other content creators, December is a really interesting month for videos. I saw the views in my videos drastically decrease, especially in shorts, and it makes sense, like people are just really busy during the holidays. Those videos were the ones that consistently had strong views, so thank you. But it seemed like people were really interested in it. And then I got a few comments asking if I would do a video or a few videos ranking all of them. And I thought that was such a good idea. So I'm going to do that in shorts. It'll probably have to be in maybe 4 shorts or something like that. But I wanted to also sit down and do this long video. It might be a longer one because there are 20 lip products that we need to talk about, but I'm going to try to go through them quickly. It's also my goal to kind of show over here the short that I filmed so that you can see it being applied. I'll do my best with that one. That's the hope. You're very precariously angled right now because I'm in a room. My husband's redoing our floors, and so this is kind of the storage room for all of the flooring. Some's already cut, some isn't. Like, it's literally everywhere. He had to help me like figure out just the right angle for you guys. So, but I really wanted to film this video today. So hopefully there'll be enough room to show you guys. If it covers a little bit of me, well, that's fine. Last week, I went through all of the videos that I made, the shorts, and then I ranked the lipsticks, and I had to change it many times because some I was like, no, I like this one just a little bit more. It's hard because I do love all of these lip products. And then I wrote little things about each one that I want to read to you because I just think they're kind of funny. So let's start with number 20. So the one coming in last place, but remember, I do love all of these, but one has to come in last place, you know what I mean? And this is the one. It is MAC, obviously, and it's in their shade Flustered. It's in their Luster Glass formula. And what I wrote here was, glossy lips, not always my favorite. Shade is probably not right for me. Got it for a steal at TJ Maxx. Really, that's all. This formula, when I'm in the mood for it, I really like it. It's very balmy, it's very glossy, it's beautiful, pigmented, but I usually go for more of a matte lip, especially because I'm a teacher, and so I don't have a lot of opportunities during the day to look at a mirror. And if I use a formula like this, it sometimes can get everywhere and I'm not even noticing, and then the kids have to point it out to me. So I usually go for red, like matte red lips when I'm teaching, but this is one I do like. I will say orangey reds, again, I have to kind of be wearing the right outfit and be in the right mood for it. It just, I don't know if it's the best for my skin tone. I usually like either a true red or a pinky red. So that's why this one is coming in last, but I still really like it. Number 19, L'Oreal Resistance in Le Rouge Paris. And what I said was, so pretty. I would choose other liquid lipsticks first because it's not as long wearing. Totally true. So I have a whole video about these, and the video I made is in my top 5 most viewed videos, so thank you. And in that video, I really like them, and I still do. It is an awesome formula, but only if you're gonna be wearing this for a shorter amount of time, like within a few hours. Because I think the video I did was a first impressions. So it is so pigmented, goes on beautifully. I love the shade, very much a true kind of red. Well, maybe a little pinky in there too. After a few hours, it starts to wear, especially in the middle, especially if you're eating and drinking. So if you want something super long wearing, I wouldn't go with this one. I probably wouldn't wear it to like a holiday party or something because you're usually eating and drinking. A friend of mine, I was in her wedding, and one of the other bridesmaids had this formula and in a different color that totally matched her dress. It was beautiful. She'd never tried it before. And I told her, I just kind of warned her because she asked me, she knows this is what I do. And I was like, I really like those, but just know you might have to reapply because it might start to wear off and it might start to actually come out of the lip lines a little bit because this one does. And she was like, okay, like we'll see how it goes. And I told her like different people, you know, it's possible. It totally started to wear off and started to come outside of her lip lines within a couple of hours. And she came up to me and she was like, you're so right. So this one I do really like. I just think make sure you're able to check on it after wearing it for a few hours. But other than that, I really like the formula. It's very non-drying, which I like. It does not dry out your lips. Number 18, MAC Velvet Blur in Devoted to Danger. I have a video on these too. I really like these. It's the stick formula of their Powder Kiss line. What I'll say about these is they are very similar to the regular Bullet Powder Kiss, which is actually my favorite formula from MAC. It's not going to be totally long wearing because it's not meant to be. It's not a liquid lipstick, but it is matte. It makes your lips look very pillowy, and it does have pretty good staying power. Now, the reason why this one is more towards the bottom, even though I love it, again, it's more of a orange toned red. And so for what I was wanting, especially during the holidays, more of a true red. So that's why I put it on here. Again, I kind of have to be in the right mood for this shade. You know, I really need to check out if they have I have 2 shades in this, I think, and I'm not crazy about the other one either. So I need to look to see if they have more of like a true red, because it probably would totally jump up. It's literally all just about the shade for me. I really like the formula. Again, if you were wanting something super long lasting, you probably wouldn't want to reach for this, but it is beautiful. I do love this formula. Oh, and let me read you what I wrote for this. Longer wearing version of Powder Kiss. Not sure the shade is perfect for me. Basically everything I said. Number 17. I get so excited about all of these. Can you tell? This is Maybelline, their cream formula in Red for Me. This is a classic red shade. So beautiful. And a couple of years ago, this would probably be much higher on my list. I have loved this one for years now, but again, it's because it is that cream formula and is not going to last quite as long. That's what I'm looking for in a red lip, you know. Other lipsticks, nude lipsticks, I'm more okay with cream formulas because maybe that's what I want for them to kind of wear off throughout the day. Reds, not as much because they just kind of start to look crazy. This one though doesn't do that as much as other red bullet lipsticks I've tried, even though it is that cream formula. It is a true red shade. It's beautiful. I get a lot of questions about this one, a weird amount, like when I feature it in videos. It's not the pink for me, and I think there's a ruby for me that it's not that either. And I get asked that a lot, like, oh, do you mean pink for me? And I'm like, no. And I got this in stores, so it seems like maybe it's not in stores everywhere. Surprisingly, here in Hawaii, I did find it in store, and I do really like this one. Just a classic bullet lipstick, true red shade. Just so pretty. And then let me read what I wrote here. I just wrote a classic. It's a classic. Next one, Colourpop Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is the more berry red Rudolph one. Let me read what I wrote here. A berry red shade for the whole holiday season. Love this formula. Love this formula. This formula surprised me so much. It's a cream formula, but it lasts really well throughout the day. I would say even better than that Maybelline one. And this is one of my most unique red shades that I own. I don't know if it's really showing up on camera as much, but it is a cranberry red shade. Actually, it would have gone really well with my dress today. So pretty. And what I love about it, I think Colourpop was so smart with this. For one, I mean, it's a classic movie. People love it. It's just like synonymous with the holidays. But for another, it's a cranberry red, which means you could almost start wearing it as early as September and wear it through the fall season, because cranberry shades are definitely more fall. But then because it is a red, you could also wear it into the holiday season, which I think is just brilliant. And I think that's why I ranked it a little bit higher than others, because I love that this is almost more versatile because of the length of time that I wear red lipsticks all the time, you guys. But I thought this was so smart. Because you could wear it for so many months and it kind of gets you in that holiday spirit even a little bit earlier. I can't remember when this was re-released this year. I want to say it was in November, but I swear, a shade like this, I mean, you could wear it again all year round, but even starting in September because of the fall, I just think it's so smart. And this is, again, a cream formula that absolutely even though it's going to come off, lasts so well throughout the day. I love the nude version of this too. It was in my top lipsticks of the year. Number 15, Armani Lip Maestro. It also just says 402 on the bottom for the shade. I said, so beautiful, but needs to be checked frequently. This is an interesting one. I love it for one thing. It's so pretty. I think this is marketed as a velvet formula. I feel like velvet is still a type of matte to me. The luster on this really remains pretty much throughout the day, and it never really dries down to more of a velvet finish in my opinion, but it's not like a lip lacquer. So I don't know. It's very interesting. It's beautiful though. If you're gonna wear it for a very short amount of time, it is so pretty. And Armani just has this way of making lip products that look luxe. You know what I mean? I've had other high-end lip products that still look the same as drugstore lip products. I do think there's something special about these that just look more luxe. But when I wore this one, and of course I tried all of these several times, but it was hard because I was trying to wear a different one every day. It totally came out of the lip lines like really bad when I was at work, which was not ideal. It really was more of a lacquer-y kind of finish, but it's not a lip lacquer, but it's not really a velvet in my opinion, so it just kind of got everywhere. So if you're wanting to wear this for a very long amount of time, I wouldn't go for this one. But if you're wanting something for filming a video like this where it's going to be on for maybe a couple hours, or I don't know, pictures for a couple hours, this is beautiful and I do really like it. The packaging's really pretty. It just looks luxe. All of it looks luxe. Number 14, Revlon Ultra HD lipstick in Red Hot. And I said my favorite lipstick of 2017 can sometimes be messy. When I say that in 2017 and 2018, I had so many different shades of this. This was my favorite lipstick formula of those years. It, for one thing, is so pigmented. It makes your lips look so pillowy soft. It has that beautiful matte kind of finish, but the staying power of it is not amazing. It does start to wear off a little bit. It's definitely more long wearing than like the last few that I've mentioned because it is more matte, but it really comes out of lip lines, and it's always done that. I've never been a huge lip liner person. I feel like I'm only now getting into lip liners, so I definitely would wear a lip liner with this one now. But it's just something about this formula where it makes your lips almost look like blurred, but also like a little bit plumper. It is such a pretty formula, and I have so much nostalgia for this formula. It makes me happy. Okay, number 13, MAC Fireballer. I wrote just the most nostalgia. It's a deeper red shade. I want to say was almost the start of my love affair with MAC lipstick. Definitely I would say Velvet Teddy was the big start, but this was a very close second. This was one of their holiday releases. It's in their matte formula. It's a deeper red shade. So again, I sort of like, I wore it so much when I bought it. And I want to say I bought it holiday of, it was either 2019 or 2018. I think it was 2019, and it came with a lip gloss and a lip liner. The lip liner I still have. This one I still have. The glosses just aren't my favorite, so I eventually decluttered it. But it came in a little kit that was so pretty, in a makeup bag that I still have that's big and awesome. I use it for skincare when I travel still. And I wore this so much that holiday season, and it really helped me just solidify my love for MAC lipsticks. And it also just reminds me of like my husband, because that was like when we were dating, in our first few years of dating. I just love this, and I do think that there are lipsticks that I like a little bit more now, but for nostalgia's sake, I had to put this where I put it, which was 13, and it's really old, so I probably shouldn't use it anymore, but I still do sometimes. Okay, number 12, NYX Smooth Whip Matte Lip Cream in the shade Cherry Cream. This came out this past year and is so pretty. I love the lip cream formula from NYX. This is their newer formula. It's a lot more whipped. The original is more powdery. Honestly, pretty similar to the Revlon formula. Very pillowy, moussey, makes your lips look more blurred. It's not going to be the most long wearing in the world. I think this one stays in the lines a little bit better than the Revlon one does, but I just really, really like this color. It's very much a true like cherry red shade and it's just so pretty. I said, love this formula, pillowy, needs more red shades, which is totally true. I would love if they just had a whole bunch of different red shades in this line. Let's see, number 11, Lingerie XXL in the shade On Fuego. This is number 11. I said, love this, needs more red shades, non-sticky version of the Maybelline. Oh, okay. Now the Maybelline is not in here, at least not the Maybelline matte. We all know, I feel like, about the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink lipsticks, and those ones are super long wearing, but I should say they have this sticky feeling to them, which I don't love in a matte lip, and I know that's the reason they last so long is because of that kind of stickiness. I've learned to just ignore it a lot of the time, but I would say that this formula, to get it back to this lipstick, I think this lip formula is actually really similar without that stickiness. It's more of a true, well, I was gonna say it's more of a true like traditional liquid lipstick, but actually it does have a little bit of that moussiness to it as well, not as much as like the Revlon one or the other NYX one. It's almost a hybrid, and I think this one lasts really, really well throughout the day. Maybe not quite as long as the Maybelline, but if that stickiness of the Maybelline one drives you crazy, this could be a really good alternative. Again, to me, this is more of an orangey red. So again, it has to be when I'm in the right mood, which is why I put this a little bit lower on the list and why I said this range needs more red shades in it. This is one of the few red shades that it has, and I would love if it had just more. I want more, always. This is the Joa Endless Longwear Lip Color in the shade Smoothing. At least I think that's the shade, because that's the one at the bottom, which I always think is like, this is an interesting lipstick shade. Love it, but not the most long wearing. This is a true liquid lipstick. It's really, really pretty. This was one of my favorites last year. Like last year, this would have been probably like 2 or 3 on the list. Very thin formula, which I really, really like. As much as I like the moussey ones, there's definitely a time and place for my thin liquid lipstick formulas. This is another one that you kind of have to make sure you're reapplying. It's not like it goes out of lip lines. It just starts to wear off in the middle after a few hours. So I would wear this a lot during the holidays, but every few hours I would just dab a little bit more on because it's not the most long wearing. So that's why I put it at number 10, but I love this formula. Like I said, last year I would have ranked this probably like number 3. Okay, so this is what's confusing about these, and it makes sense. Like you can only name so many things. This is another one called Red Hot, and there's a couple called Ultimatte too in here that are different brands. This is number 9. It's the Maybelline Vinyl Ink, so not the matte ink like we were just talking about, the vinyl ink in the shade Red Hot. And I said a unique candy apple red shade. I think that's what I love so much about this. It is a true candy apple red shade. I feel like it's not even coming across well on camera. It's so pretty. It's vinyl, so it's glossy, but it does stay really, really, really well throughout the day, and it has that same stickiness as the matte ink one. But the reason I feel like I can tolerate this one just a little bit more is because I almost feel like the stickiness doesn't bother me as much because it's a shinier lacquery type of formula, whereas the matte one is supposed to be just matte, but it's still sticky. This one has that stickiness, but it lasts so well throughout the day. It's such a pretty candy apple red. It is such a unique kind of holiday shade. Again, I think sort of for different reasons, this is one you could wear throughout the whole September to January because it's that more candy apple red, which tends to be even a little bit more fall as well. So I love, love, love this formula. There's a reason I ranked it number 9 because it's great. Too Faced Melted Matte Lipstick in the shade Lady Balls. So the shade to me is so funny every time I say it. I said a great love of mine, but thick. Interesting. Yeah. I think I've learned that if a liquid lipstick is not a moussey formula, I prefer that it be really thin like that Joa one. This is gorgeous. I wore it on Christmas Day because it's a true red. It stays on so well. Again, last year this probably would have been in my like top 4. But It is a really thick formula, and I almost think because it is so thick, it can start to dry out your lips. It's not too bad for me, but I know for other people they don't like this formula because it dries out their lips. I think a lot of that has to do with how thick the formula is. That's just my kind of assumption, but I still love this and I still wear it all the time. When I want a true red, super long wearing liquid lipstick, I go for this one, but just know it is a little bit more thick. Number 7 is the MAC 24-Hour Locked Kiss lipstick in Ruby True. I just reviewed these, gosh, gotta be maybe 6 weeks ago in a video. You guys, thank you. I love you so much. That video in 6 weeks has gone into my top 4 videos. People really, I guess, were really interested in this formula, which is crazy because I don't feel like MAC is marketing it that much, but I love these. This is in Ruby True. This formula of their Ruby Woo shade, which is beautiful, just a true red again. So, so pretty. These last awesome throughout the day. It's not going to be like a 12-hour one again, but I mean 7 to 8 hours. I feel like it's definitely going to last. It really, to me, it does transfer, but not a crazy amount. It's not going to go all over the place. Let's see what I said about it. I said so long wearing, because really it is. It's so long wearing. Not as much as a true liquid lipstick would be, but it's pretty darn close. Like, this is a really, really good formula. It's the one I'm wearing on my lips right now, and really, I wore it because I thought it matched my dress really well, which you can't even really see. This is the Maybelline Ultimate Slim Lipstick in More Ruby. And I said, I love this formula, more pink. It's a ruby shade. It says it in the name. So I liked it today because I felt like the red in here is a little bit more pink on my dress. Just know it's not going to be a true red shade. I will say I literally just filmed a short about this lipstick, because I felt like this formula really had a moment in 2020, I think, or 2021, and then people have just forgotten about it and never talk about it. It is such a pretty lipstick. It's a matte. It lasts pretty well. It's not going to be totally transfer proof. Like, you can see it, but it doesn't get crazy in the lines. It's so comfortable. It looks nice. If you're not going to be trying to wear it for 12 hours, I mean, it looks really, really good. It is a pinker shade. I think they have some more red shades too, but I wanted this because I wanted one that was a little bit more ruby. So I really, really love this formula. This is one that was lower and I kept moving up and up because I kept thinking about how much I love the formula of it. So this is definitely a good one. It's my YSL, and it's their Rouge Volupte Shine in the shade 80. Oh yes, and the actual shade name of it, I always have to look it up online because it only says 80 on here. Chili Tunic. This, again, YSL, looks so luxe in everything. The packaging, the actual formula looks really luxe. This is the most pigmented, balmy, beautiful formula. And it's funny because, again, I don't normally like glossy lips, but there's something about this that it's really more of a balm that's just super, super pigmented that I really love. And somehow it doesn't get all over the place. If you use a lip liner with it, it really wouldn't go all over the place. And I love the shade of it. Again, it's a little more orangey, but I would equate it to more of like a burnt orange, almost like MAC's Devoted to Chili kind of shade. It is so pretty and unique and looks surprisingly good with so many different outfits, like, and colors. You'd be surprised. It's just so pretty. There's a reason it's in my top 5. It is beautiful. I got it for 50% off at a duty free in an airport, and I would get so many more of these if I could. If I could afford to get more of these, I would. Like, this formula is amazing. Oh, and for this I said one of the most unique lip formulas I own. It's true. Okay. Number 4 is a favorite from last year. It is NARS Dragon Girl. Lovely, not as long wearing as others. This is really pretty. I don't think it lasts as long as the MAC one for sure, like the Ruby True shade. I don't think it lasts as long as true liquid lipsticks. But again, I feel like it lasts pretty well, and there's a certain nostalgia with it with me, because I bought it on my honeymoon in New York after hearing Jessica Braun talk about it so much last year. And TJ, my husband, was really the one that encouraged me. We didn't have a lot of money on our honeymoon. We had a great time, but we were coming off paying for our wedding and buying our house, and we went, but we didn't have a ton of money. And my sweet husband was like, I really want you to buy that because I know you want it so badly. So, but I love that it's pretty true red shade, maybe a tiny bit pink leaning. It's looking more pink on camera, I think, but it does last so well throughout the day. And again, not as good as others. You might have to reapply, but it is really nice. Like if you're looking for a good stick lipstick like that, that's going to last longer than probably most bullet lipsticks, depending on the formula, that's a good one. The top 3 were very, very, very hard to choose. Number 3, I chose the L'Oreal Color Riche, their matte line, in the shade Matterful Red. It almost doesn't get more true red than this. I mean, it is a true blue toned red. It's a bullet lipstick. It's their matte formula, so it lasts pretty well, especially if you use a lip liner with it. But if you want a bullet lipstick and a red that's gonna last pretty well, this is the one you should get, and it's from the drugstore. I got this one, I wanna say it was before the holidays, like maybe a month or so before the holidays, and I wore it so much. It doesn't look like it, but it is so pretty. This is another one that like I had it lower and then I kept moving it up and up because it's just so good. Let's see what I said. I said perfect bullet. It is so good and pretty readily accessible. You know what I mean? That's what I love about the drugstore ones, is if you really wanted it. I'm not someone, especially because I live where I do, where it's hard to, ship stuff in. I like makeup products that I can just go to the store and pick it up, which is pretty much only drugstore with me, unless it's like a cosmetics counter from Macy's. Everything else, we don't have a Sephora here. We don't have an Ulta. So I love that this is one that you can just really access quickly. Number 2 was my number 1 last year. And guys, I think it's in my car. It's the only one I couldn't find, but it shows you how much I use it, that it's not even with me right now. I'm gonna show you a different one that has very similar packaging. So it's the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit. So this one is their high shine and it's more of a pinky color. The one I'm talking about is the matte one, and it's in their shade Missy and Fierce. I said, more pinky lasts so well, love it so much. And I do. I am almost out of it from wearing it so much in the past year. I really should buy a new one because I'm really almost out. It is so pretty. It is one of the most long wearing lipsticks I have ever used in my entire life. And it's from the drugstore. It's from Wet n Wild, which is amazing. Wet n Wild keeps things really affordable and there's a lot in there. So like I said, it's lasted me a long time. And what I wrote in here, it is a little bit more pinky. I would not call it a true red, but it's pretty darn close. I think it's a little more pink leaning, which I think looks nicer with my skin tone anyway. So I just wore that thing out this year. But if you were wanting more of a true red, that's really the only red shade they have in that line, and that's my biggest gripe about it, which in the grand scheme of things is not that bad. But it's such a good formula that I feel like it did really have a moment again in 2017, 2018, but no one talks about them anymore, even though they're so good. They're seriously like one of the most long lasting lipsticks out there. And I don't know if it's just because people aren't into liquid lipsticks anymore, but if you were wanting one to last you all day, it is so good. The only weird thing about it though is every now and then, if I have a little bit of peach fuzz around my lips, that's one of the few lipsticks that really catches on to it really well and like will really cling to it. So I almost have to take like a beauty sponge and just kind of push it up a little bit, and then it's pretty quick and it gets rid of it. But that's just something I've noticed about it, but it doesn't bother me. I love it so much. And my number 1, if you've been watching this season, you will not be surprised. Jessica Braun, again, totally influenced by her. And she was so right. It's the CoverGirl Ultimate in Wine O'Clock. And I wrote just perfect. This, along with that Wet n Wild, again, is probably the most long-lasting lipstick I've ever tried. I'd say another one would be that Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink, but this doesn't have that stickiness. And somehow this doesn't totally dry out your lips. I don't know how they do it. This is a true red shade though. And that's the reason why this year I put it above the Wet n Wild, because like I said, that one's a little bit more pinky. If you're wanting a true red, especially for the holidays, this is the one. I'm gonna have a bunch of other stains on my hand, so I don't know if that's setting off the color or not. But this is so pretty, and it's seriously like you don't need a lip liner with it at all. It doesn't do that weird peach fuzz thing that the Wet n Wild one does. It just lasts all day so beautifully. I wore this so much this season. And again, I feel like no one talks about this formula. I don't even remember this having a moment like back in the day. I could be wrong, but I know I've tried this line before, and I know I liked it before, but maybe the shade I had I didn't like. I don't know why I didn't keep it, but this I'm definitely keeping because it's absolutely amazing, and it's number one for me 100%. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will subscribe and give it a like. It does really help out my channel. Thank you again for loving on this series I did so much. You guys are just amazing. If you are already subscribed, I hope you'll hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.